With one of the employees at Aspire to Win, Carl Williams. Carl Williams serves as a case manager, helping guys that have just gotten out of prison that have served 10+ consecutive years with part of their reentry. You'll have seen that in the early part of our PowerPoint. Thanks for talking to me, Carl.
Yeah, glad to be of service.
Oh, I love that. So we're going to ask Carl a little bit about what it was like when he was actually in prison himself, because even though he's an employee now, he also served, and how they handled grief. So Carl, how many years did you serve?
I did 37 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, a very long time.
So during that 37 years, did you lose any family members or friends on the outside to death?
Friends, I don't know that much because I wasn't really in contact. But yes, I lost both parents, grandparents, and a cousin.
How did the prison tell you when you had a death in the family?
Well, that is the dreaded call to the chapel. You know, anytime the officer would come and they'll call your name and tell you that you're wanted in the chapel. And so everybody pretty much knows usually it's some illness or death in the family.
That's it? So they call you over the intercom, or they come to your cell or find you if you're in the day room?
Yeah, all of the above.
All of the above. And is that what happens to most every guy? Do they ever treat it differently, or is that the protocol inside prison?
I mean, it's just if it's like after hours when the chaplain is gone, they may call you to the captain's office or something like that. I mean, nobody just walks up and tell you. They call you and you know, they deliver it to you in an office because they don't know how you're going to react.
Right. Were you ever allowed out to go to a funeral?
No, I had a life sentence, so furloughs and plus most of mine was out of state, so they weren't going to let me travel out of state.
Did you ever hear of guys getting out for funerals?
Earlier, like I got locked up 79 through the 80s. For a while, they were doing funeral furloughs.
Funeral furloughs, okay.
Okay.
So tell me about then the grief process. You get the chaplain call, you're told your mother died, and you don't get to go to a funeral. Do you talk to other inmates? Is there ever a memorial moment that you do inside? How do you process that grief?
Well, that's one of the reasons they have you in a place where they can monitor you, see your reaction. But you take it back with you, and you go to your cell. They may give you a day off of work, give you the rest of the day off of work if you want it. I think you can get like 3 days off of work if you want it. Most people want to go to work so they can try not to think about it.
You saw or knew other people in prison that were killed or maybe died of disease in prison.
Yes.
Did you guys do memorial services? How did you handle that if a prisoner died?
No. I mean, if you don't form attachments to people, because they can be taken away through anything.
That's tough. You got to learn to be hard pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you don't become hard, you become prey. You know, and so that's a whole nother story in itself. But
what was it like when the emotions finally hit you again?
I'm still learning now. My fiance says, that's one of my problems. I don't show emotions.